All right, welcome everyone to another edition of our weekly Wednesday Lunch and Learn. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time, I have the opportunity to get to interview some of the top agents all across the country to learn about how they got into the business, but also to learn about what is actually happening in their local market. Today, I'm delighted to have Donnie join me out of the Miami market. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's down in sunny Florida.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. It's beautiful in California too, but it's certainly very nice for Florida weather as well. So please, Donnie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, maybe take us a step back. Like, how long have you been in the business, but also what did you actually do prior to real estate?
Yeah. So for better or worse, I've been in the business a long time. I got into business right out of graduate school. I came down from the Northeast, living in upstate New York, all my youth years. I got my MBA, Business Administration, down at University of Miami. I loved South Florida. I saw the opportunity. I knew this was a really up and coming community, and this is back in 1992. And if some remember, it was a really harsh recession. And once I got my business degree, I knew I did not want to be a Wall Street guy. It was not my vibe. And from there, I kind of was working through restaurants through college to make easy cash, like a lot of us did. It was super easy. It was tough to get a job right out of grad school. So I took another job position, a place called Fisher Island. It said poolside bartender. I'm like, sure, why not? I'll have fun for the summer and then figure it out in September. I had no idea what Fisher Island was. And as many of you may have read, it's annually the top, income zip code in the whole nation. So it's this private island right off of Miami Beach. You got to get there by ferry, helicopter, or yacht. And I met my first business partner there in the first night, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing, and there's got to be something bigger here. A year later, I got my real estate license, and that's where I started practicing helping folks sell and lease on Fisher Island.
That is incredible. At this time, you were working while getting your MBA at the time, or did you finish the MBA and you're just kind of looking something in between?
I've always, since I was 14, been working in restaurants just to make easy cash and to be, concentrate on my school studies. I played tennis in undergraduate up at my college up in New York. So I was always very active, but I was never into the real estate profession until I was on Fisher Island and kind of figured out what could be the next best step and how to really, leverage that network and kind of my exposure there.
How interesting. Very cool. And so fast forward today, why don't you give people a glimpse in terms of what is the production today and take it at that time when you got started in 92, was it easier or harder than you thought it would be to get going?
Well, I'm a bad person to ask new folks because back in 92 was very different. This is pre-cell phones, pre-smartphones. Your MLS was a phone book. I feel like a fossil talking out this way, but the market we, worked on, Fisher Island, which is a very lucrative market, had about 365-plus-year-old brokers. They were very staid. They were very tired. And myself and my business partner were like, let's out hustle them. So my business model from day one was to just out hustle the competition. And by year two, the company I was associated with at the time, a good luxury regional company in Miami, I was the #1 producer in year two. So had a very, very quick acceleration to, success, thankfully.
Interesting. And so tell us, like, fast forward to today, what does production look like on your end? Well, and how is it made up? Is it still you and the partner that survived like 20 plus years?
We survived about 20 years, and then he wanted to go his own way. He got more into the whole buying and flipping mode, opposed to transacting mode. So long story short, I really focused on transactions and Fisher Island for a good 23, 24 years. That's all I did 24/7. Over that time frame, I did well over 5,000 personal transactions. So had tremendous volume, tremendous success, great relationships. Different phase of my career, I do transact still. I did put an offer in today for 4.625 on a 3-bedroom oceanside condo. But my main role today is I run the state of Florida for the company called Side, which is a new VC-fueled high-tech firm based out of California. So
Right.
I help other brokers at this particular time. So I'm responsible for on the managing broker and vice president role, opposed to working directly with the consumers on a day-to-day basis right now.
Got it. Very cool. Yes. No, I mean, I'm familiar with there's different teams here in the Bay Area that have joined Side. And I'm sure
Yeah.
Side is focused mostly on maybe more premium areas. Is that fair to say, or not really either?
No,
I got it.
no. Yeah. The business model is about top producers. It's about
Okay.
taking people that are dominant in their demographic, whether it's Sacramento, where it's 225 as an average point, or downtown San Francisco, where it's well over 1 million. But it's about, working for that top producer to give them the opportunity to own their own brand and to have
Right.
us be in the background and giving them all that really high-end tech support so they can do bigger numbers and build bigger teams.
Got it. And so, when did you make the transition from as a producer and managing maybe a team to joining kind of the position that you're at Side?
Well, I had kind of a half-step position. I kind of felt after 23, 24 years that I was not enjoying the transaction part of my career as much. Um, and I was looking for something different. I had an opportunity with a local investor in New York and Xi'an to help develop a Chinatown here in Miami.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, amazing experience. We had the site allocation, we had, things with the city. But the New York developer had a bad experience on another luxury development in South Florida. The Xi'an developer had trouble getting capital out of China. So,
Right.
that $10 billion deal never fulfilled.
Oh
Um,
man.
but
Wow.
that got me into a lot of other things, nationally and internationally. That was about 4 years ago, and I joined Side about a year and a half ago to take the opportunity to help them, pioneer the state of Florida from scratch.
Interesting. And so, tell me about kind of that journey. Like, you've been there for a year and a half. You've clearly had the opportunity to scale up your own business
Yep.
and different things like
Yep.
that.
hmm
What has been the biggest challenge of growing Side, maybe that you didn't anticipate, or was there anything that you didn't anticipate in terms of this journey that you're going through?
Well, I think any venture that you do as an entrepreneur, which is fresh and something's new, Side is something that's never been done before. What they do, there's many franchise brokerages, there's many independent boutique brokerages. That's kind of been done in different shapes. But to really own it as an individual and have the power of a high-tech corporation behind you, no one's ever done that.
Hmm.
So that's where it's been a little bit challenging to get professionals say, hey, you can do this. This is real. And it's working in a really great clip in California and Texas. And we're ready to take it away in Florida.
Interesting. And so, how many teams are on board now? And yeah, how many teams are with Side in Florida?
In Florida right now, we have 4 which are live and 7.
Oh, cut off there.
I apologize. A call came in for a second.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had
Four.
four which are
Uh,
4 active transactioning, 7 which are in launch, which means we're building their brand from scratch. And we've
oh
got,
wow.
we're taking on about 3 more brands per month. So we'll have another 35 or so by the end of next year. So
Uh,
yeah, we're in a pretty high growth mode at this particular time.
nice. So, and what is the business model of Side? Right. I mean, is it like a standard brokerage or boutique brokerage or some split? Like, how does that add up so that people are aware if they want to join essentially Side either in California or in Florida? Is it the same? Is it the same in Florida
Yeah,
as it is
yeah.
in California?
Yeah, our business model is the same model for every single partner, and it's a full alignment. There's no fees involved for the setup, for tech, for desk fees, etc., or technology. It's purely just a split, which is the same split, which is very competitive to, all the other major brands in the industry. But it's all on the back end. So it's a full alignment that unless our partners who own their brands succeed, the company doesn't make money. So that's the big differentiation. Normally when you buy a Keller Williams or Sotheby's franchise, there's a big startup fee up front. Um, that's not how this business model works. It's really the venture capitalists which are fueling and making the investment, in the top producer saying, hey, Spencer's amazing, and we think if we get behind him and build his brand, we can take him and his team to different levels. And that's what we do. We really do take these top producers to different levels, opposed to just kind of doing the same old, and having them have a very generic kind of footprint within their brokerage business.
Interesting. And is it if there is no monthly fees, I presume the only way that you guys would make money would be some sort of kind of commission split, right? Is that commission split vary between teams to teams, or is it like a flat amount, like regardless if you're a 100 million or you're a 10 million, it's the same percentage wise?
Yeah, it's very it's equitable across the board. I have the same split as the VP of operations in Florida as a brand new agent that's going to come on a team. So that split is the exact same split across the board. And again, that's discussed at the proper time with the folks that are partners with the company.
Got it. Is there a cap model with this, or is it just a split, and then because there's all this kind of value add, and it just kind of continues with that split model?
For the most part, there's a cap model,
Okay.
but there are situations where it may not be a cap, depending on the business model and the amount of backup and support needed.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. And where do you guys find most of your talent coming from? Is it a Compass? Is it a Sotheby's? Like, is there a specific kind of brokerage that you guys have found most success in, or is there no unanimous thing here?
Yeah, the most prevalent partner is from Compass or Keller Williams. In two reasons. They're both trained very well. They both have very high production, but they're usually, when they hit a specific time frame, a top producer says, you know what, I'm giving more to my brokerage and the brokerage is giving to me. And if they had this opportunity to own their own brand, it's very attractive to those particular folks who are with those brokerages.
Got it. I see. And can you share, like, maybe, I mean, everybody, whether it's Compass or in this case Side, everybody says that they have tech in their platform and is tech enabled. Like, are there particular examples that you can share with the audience? Like, what specifically do you like? What is a product, or what's an application that you guys have that's quite different?
Yeah. So tough to show, but just think of it this way: in the business, as we all know, we all have a variety of tools and things we need to utilize through a transaction. And you know how it is. You have to take it from here and upload it to there and bring it to the subscription. So the real secret sauce is that our application is built in-house, and everything is stitched together in a one login platform. So once you log in once and you're on our proprietary app, the entire transaction, your CRM, etc., is all there put together, and it all speaks together. So you're really maximizing your communication, you're maximizing your efficiencies. What I always say is every business is like a net. A net has holes, it has leakage within that, business model. This application and our technologies allows our partners to have a larger net with much tighter holes. So their leakage is going to be much more minimized. It's going to be a much more efficient model than someone else who's working with a variety of technologies, and they have to kind of go in and out of them.
Interesting. And where do you see Sides from a tech or platform perspective go in the next year or two? Like, what's the goal per se, or is it continue just to scale up, add more teams, still leverage these same technologies? Is there anything from a sort of a product perspective that's kind of the goal here?
Yeah, it's both. So we are scaling in terms of our brands and part of our agents and our teams. However, we are an innovation lab, so to speak. We are a VC company, so we make profit on 100% of our transactions, and 100% of our transactions, we put that money right back into the product, into the services. So our team and our engineers are always looking to see what is the next best thing from our agents and from our brands. That's what they need. What can help them best to do the job better, do it more efficiently, give better customer service to the clientele. So that's kind of what we say, there's no finish line. So we're always looking to innovate and integrate more things that make sense. We don't want to build tech for the sake of building tech. We listen to our brands and our partners saying, hey, what do you really need on the street? What are you seeing that's going to make a difference? And that's what we do and integrate that way.
Got it. Cool. And then maybe as we conclude, for those that might be interested, I presume because you guys are ultimately looking for like top producers, right? Are there
Mhm.
thresholds that people need to make to be able to apply, or how does it work for those that might be interested in a change? Yeah, how does that work on your end?
Yeah, I mean, you can put an inquiry off our website, sideinc.com, very super simple. And then one of our teammates, our ambassadors, as we call them, would reach out to them. Our brand owners, our threshold about $20 million as a minimum, because in all honesty, the investment needed to build a brand from scratch on the investor's dollar is quite substantial.
Mhm.
The investors don't get their money back until people start transacting. The efficiencies are not going to help a low producer to own a brand.
Right.
Our average brand owner is a 40 million producer, so it's very, very substantial. And but we do also have associates and team growth there from folks that are $2 to $10 million. So there's opportunities for people in both silos that way.
Interesting. Got it. Cool. And very good. So no, thank you so much for sharing kind of the experience that you had before and to where you're currently at now. I know you're driving, so I'm glad you're able to multitask safely.
Yeah, I'm picking up my daughter. It's a COVID 2020 lifestyle to the max.
My mask is so annoying.
It's all good. It's all good. So Donnie, like for those that might be interested, so number one, actually, before we sign off, if someone was interested in California or outside of Florida, do they still contact you or they just contact direct on the site? How does that work?
Yeah. Yeah, the website or myself, happy to, because I would funnel you to the right person in your region. We're in
Right.
California, Texas, and Florida right now. There's discussions of expanding into secondary states in late of 21, but that's not been finalized as yet. But, you can assume that states that are adjoining those three primary states will probably be the next states that we would be looking into in the very near future.
Got it. Cool. And so what are the best ways people to get in touch with you if they have specific questions? How can they find you?
Super simple. My cell phone, super easy, 305-389-2922, or my email is donnie.pingaro@sideinc.com.
Awesome. Well, very, very good. Thank you, Donnie, so much for your time. Your video cut off, but it's all good. And so, yes, anyone that might be tuning in that's looking for potential change, that you're kind of a top producer that you either feel like potentially your brokerage is not helping you get to that next level, or you might feel kind of stuck. Certainly Side has gotten a lot of producers here in the Bay Area, at least that I know of. And I'm not sure about the Texas and Florida market just because I don't operate there, but they clearly are onto something. And if those big teams have joined, then clearly those teams have found value to make that switch. And so if you are kind of in that position, feel free to reach out to Donnie or feel free to reach out online. You can have a particular ambassador, as Donnie has called it, that can tune in, that can give you the more information to see if it's a right fit for you. Well, Donnie, thank you so much for your time. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you at the show next week. Have a good week. Bye now.
Thanks, Spencer. Take care.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Thanks for making it to the very end of my YouTube video. If you like the content, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that little bell as well, since it'll give you notifications of when my next episode is. If you know of anyone that is considering to buy or sell a home here in the Bay Area, I'm never too busy to help more people. Always welcome to have a conversation, regardless if you're ready to go right now or if you wanted to buy 5 years later. Click on that calendar link and then you'll be able to book an appointment with me and love to have a conversation about your situation. In the meantime, I also do have a monthly newsletter, so feel free to hit that link below and then you'll be able to get my updates, personal updates that I write once a month in terms of what is going on with the market and some of my latest activities. Hope to see you at the next one. Thank you.